Rangers look set for another important moment in the early stages of Danny Rohl's tenure, with the manager now weighing up a significant decision inside his first months at Ibrox. The German has already made his presence felt since arriving in October, bringing clearer standards and sharper expectations to a squad still adjusting to major change. Now, with competition for places intensifying and key fixtures approaching, fresh scrutiny is falling on one player in particular, setting up a situation that could soon lead to a major call behind the scenes. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Danny Rohl may be edging closer to a significant decision regarding one Rangers player whose form has failed to match the uplift seen elsewhere in the squad. Since arriving at Ibrox in late October, the German coach has revitalized the atmosphere around the club, re-energizing a group that had looked flat and directionless earlier in the season. Saturday's hard-fought 2-1 win over Livingston maintained his perfect record in Premiership action, with Mohamed Diomande striking late to secure all 3 points after Emmanuel Fernandez opened his account for the club. Rohl has made a point of giving opportunities across the squad during his early weeks in charge, keen to evaluate every option at his disposal, but one player continues to fall short of expectations. Taylor Asgard, who arrived from Luton Town in the summer, endured another frustrating outing at the weekend, squandering a fresh chance to stake a real claim for a place in Rohl's long-term plans. Deployed in the number 10 role, Asgard struggled to influence the game in any meaningful way, failing to provide the creativity or urgency his manager would have hoped to see. His numbers tell a similar story. The Norway international has managed just 1 goal in his first 19 competitive appearances for the club, a return that underlines his battle to adapt to Scottish football and the demands of playing for Rangers. According to Gordon Parks in this weekend's Sunday Mail, Asgard continues to offer next to nothing, with the reporter highlighting Rohl's internal traffic light system used to categorize performances within the squad. Parks added that the 23-year-old should be worried about seeing red, a blunt assessment that reflects the growing concern around his contributions. Rangers invested £3.5 million to bring Asgard to Glasgow in the summer, but that outlay is looking increasingly at odds with his current impact. The lingering effects of the previous regime continue to shape the squad dynamics, with several of Russell Martin's signings still struggling for relevance. Supporters made their dissatisfaction clear long before Martin departed, and the consequences of those recruitment missteps are still evident. Asgard is not alone. Lyle Cameron and Joe Rothwell, also recruited during Martin's tenure, have received only limited minutes since the managerial change. But Asgard's situation feels more precarious given both his transfer fee and the early expectations that accompanied his arrival. Confidence appears to be a major issue for the youngster. Since moving north of the border, he has looked hesitant, short of conviction, and unable to show the qualities that once made him a promising championship talent. With Rohl keen to trim what he views as a bloated squad, the attacker is increasingly at risk of being moved on. As the January window approaches, it seems increasingly likely that Asgard will be among the players Rohl considers offloading. The manager has already demonstrated a ruthless streak in pursuit of higher standards, and unless Asgard can find a sudden surge in form, he may soon find himself on the wrong side of that assessment. In other news, James Tavernier is preparing for crucial talks that will shape his Rangers' future, with the January transfer window approaching and fresh interest emerging from abroad. The long-serving captain has faced recurring speculation over a potential exit, and this latest development signals that a definitive decision may now be drawing closer. The 32-year-old could have departed in the summer when reports linked him with lucrative moves to Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Instead, he chose stability, opting to remain in Glasgow and continue leading the side. Yet the landscape has shifted. According to those close to the situation, Tavernier is now weighing up his long-term future in Glasgow as he considers whether to see out his remaining years at Ibrox or pursue a new challenge elsewhere. As it stands, he is contracted until the summer of 2026 and would be able to leave on a free transfer at that point. Given his experience, numbers, and status, there would be no shortage of interest across Europe should he decide the time is right to walk away. But equally, the possibility of him extending his deal and committing to finishing his career with Rangers remains firmly on the table. Tavernier has repeatedly been the subject of speculation, yet season after season he stays put, continuing to offer major contributions in both leadership and performance. Reflecting on the ongoing debate surrounding his future, one source noted, "He still has a lot to offer for Rangers. He's still club captain at Ibrox as well." They added, "He's not getting any younger, there's no getting away from that. But every transfer window we talk about whether Tavernier could move on, and he always remains at Rangers. I'm sure there will be clubs looking at his contract situation, hoping they can prize him away. A lot will depend on what he wants to do." The choice ultimately appears to lie with the player. As the same source put it, does he see himself staying at Rangers for the rest of his career, or does he fancy a new challenge elsewhere? I think it'll be the player who will go a long way to deciding his own future plans. Rangers, for their part, are keen to at least explore an extension, with discussions expected to take place soon. I'm sure Rangers would like to keep him, but the player will have options elsewhere as well, they explained. Tavernier's contract situation forms just one strand of a pivotal period for the club. Alongside resolving their captain's future, Rangers are also planning their January recruitment strategy. The need for reinforcements has already been identified, with a striker, left back, and midfielder among the priorities as Danny Rohl looks to strengthen the squad he inherited. Rohl has impressed since stepping in, replacing Russell Martin and steadying the side quickly. His positive start has intensified calls for the board to back him with targeted signings. However, financial constraints loom large. The club's significant summer outlay, around £26 million, has left little room for substantial spending mid-season, creating a delicate balancing act between ambition and affordability. As Rangers approach a critical run of months, Tavernier's decision stands as one of the most consequential. Whether he commits to an extended stay or opts for a new chapter elsewhere, the outcome will ripple far beyond the January window. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.